President Trump did a great job on his CBS 60 Minutes interview. However, Democrats are trying to rain on this parade. I don't think they'll be successful. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about President Trump's CBS 60 Minutes interview, which came out yesterday, Sunday, November the 2nd, 2025. Now, there's a few versions of this interview. There's a condensed one that came out on TV, and then there's clips that came out online. But if you want to see the full, complete, unedited, uncut interview, I will link to it in the box so you can see it and hear it without my commentary. In this video, I want to just highlight certain key points, certain clips that I found interesting. And before I go any further, let's get into the actual clips. Of course, y'all know everything will be in the box. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were.
Let's pause before we go any further. I got to pause it a lot because copyrights and whatnot, but I just want to say this. Obama deported a lot more than what Trump has done so far. I'm not saying that as a criticism. I'm just saying it as a matter of fact. The difference between the coverage is social media. Barack Obama was a president, 2008 until 2016. The proliferation of social media was not present then the way it is now. And if it was, and if there was a narrative to paint Obama as a bad guy, then they would have done it. But I digress.
Were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
More recent.
Exactly. Just like what happened with the boat lift back in the day when Cuba, Castro, he bragged about flushing the toilets of Cuba onto America. He released all the criminals, all the bad people from jails and sent them to us. And then, of course, when they came here, they engaged in the same criminality that they were engaging in Cuba. Now, this is going to be about the shutdown, okay? That seems to be a hot topic right now. We still got the shutdown going on. Will the SNAP benefits get restored? Will the EBT cards get refreshed? Who knows? But let's watch.
Make it much less expensive for people and give them much better health care.
But where is that
and
plan?
I'd be willing to work with the Democrats on it. The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers, to all these millions of people that were allowed to come in with an open border from Biden, and nobody can do that.
The illegal aliens getting health care is the key point. The Democrats will say that's not really the case. They have all kind of flowery language to avoid it, but the reality is the reality. Let's keep on going.
One Republican would ever do that.
My understanding is if those healthcare subsidies are not extended, premiums will double for many of the people that are on it. And I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their healthcare premiums double. Live in states where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm saying we can fix it, Nora.
The thing about it is, it shouldn't have to be a thing where we accept illegal aliens on healthcare in order for our premiums to go down as American citizens. If that is what you're trying to say, then I don't buy into that.
Have helped end these government shutdowns in the past when they came about, and you did it by bringing.
I'm very good at it,
you
but I'm not going to do it by. I'm not going to do it by extortion. I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way. There's something wrong with these people.
So then, what happens on November 15th when the troops don't get a paycheck?
Schumer is a basket case, and he has nothing to lose. He's become. I just left Japan. He's become a kamikaze pilot.
Hilarious, but as far as the troops not getting their pay November the 15th, as far as SNAP benefits, as far as anything, okay, at what point does the government come back? And if they are gone for an extended period of time and life goes on as normal, then we got to start to ask questions like, okay, how much do we really need them?
Sounds like it's not going to get solved, the shutdown.
It's going to get solved, yeah. Oh, it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
You're saying the Democrats will capitulate?
I think they have to. And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to agree with something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different
The filibuster, get rid of the filibuster. So that right there could happen. I mean, something's going to happen. The Democrats trying to play chicken, but ultimately they're going to have to surrender. Now, here is Trump on Zoran, the guy who is most likely going to become the next mayor of New York City. God forbid, I hope he doesn't become the mayor, but that's what it looks like. I mean, Andrew Cuomo, I'm not a big fan necessarily, but he's much better than a Zoran Mamdani. I'd take a Democrat with a questionable history of dealing with women over a straight up communist to lead the most important city in the world.
34-year-old Democratic socialist. He's the
communist, not socialist, communist.
Thank you, Trump. Communist. Let's just say it. Let's not try to be cute and flowery. Let's just say communist.
He's far worse than a socialist.
Some people have compared him to a left-wing version of you, charismatic, breaking the old rules. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'm a much better looking person than him, right?
But what if Mamdani becomes mayor?
It's going to be hard for me as the president to give a lot of money to New York. Because if you have a communist running New York, all you're doing is wasting the money you're sending there. So
you're wasting the money. That's right. You pretty much just setting the money on fire. What's the point? When you have a communist lead in New York and you want to work with the federal government who are not communists, how does that really go together? How does that really work?
I don't know that he's won, and I'm not a fan of Cuomo one way or the other, but if it's going to be between a bad Democrat and a communist, I'm going to pick the bad Democrat all the time, to be honest with you.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. See, this is part of the reason why people love Trump is because he's man of the people. The things that he says, many of us think. This is going to be about Venezuela and Maduro, the president, the leader of Venezuela. Is he still the guy there? I thought he got deposed. Maybe I'm out of the loop. But anyway, because we've been seeing this whole thing about the drug boats getting hit, right? So now we're talking about Venezuela directly. What's going on with them? Will there be regime change?
Think of this. 0 people coming into our country through our southern border.
On Venezuela in particular, are Maduro's days as president numbered?
I would say, yeah. I think so, yeah.
And this issue of potential land strikes in Venezuela, is that true?
I don't tell.
Now, that's going to be a good question. Are we going to go? Is it going to be a beachhead out there in Venezuela? What's going on?
Is that true?
I don't tell you that. I mean, I'm not saying it's true or untrue, but I wouldn't.
Why would we do it?
I wouldn't be inclined to say that I would do that, but because I don't talk to a reporter about whether or not I'm going to strike.
Let's talk about Israel.
All right, there we go. And that clip ended right there. I didn't just cut off the whole thing about Israel. Okay, now this is going to be about a lot of the wars, a lot of the conflicts that President Trump has ended.
But just a little list of look at this, wars. How many did I solve? Cambodia, this is Cambodia, Thailand, Kosovo, Serbia, Congo, the Congo and Rwanda, Pakistan and India. That was going to be a beauty. They shot down 7 planes.
So you seen already there's quite a few of these listed, and I got to pause right here because copyright.
Israel and Iran. You've heard about that one? Egypt and Ethiopia. That's another beauty. Ethiopia built a big dam where there's no water going to the Nile. Armenia and Azerbaijan. And if you take a look, Israel and Hamas, which is a rough little situation, but it's going to. But
there we go. So I'm glad my man came with some paperwork with a list. Hey man, I got the receipts right here. Like that's what we got going on. Now, what will President Trump accomplish in his next 3 years of being the president?
Now at the end of your first year of this second term, what do you hope to accomplish in the next 3 years?
Well, I hope I can have the same year that we had. Look, we have been acknowledged to have the greatest 9 months. It's 9 months. The greatest 9 months in the history of the presidency. So if I can keep that going, I'll be very happy.
Now at the end.
There we go. And I think he's done well so far. People could say that there's, some things that they would do better, but I think he's done well so far. All right. Now, there's a question. Who's going to be the guy in 2028? Who's going to take the torch from Trump and run with it? Some say And sometimes Trump says, in my humble opinion, in jest, that it'd be him himself, third term. I don't think so. Who's going to be the next guy?
Will be at the top of the Republican ticket. Can you set the record straight? You're not going to try and run for a third term?
Well, I don't even think about it. I will tell you, a lot of people want me to run, but the difference between...
I think it's funny because he keeps kind of like dangling that carrot. I don't believe that Trump's going to run for a third term because you can't. I think that he's going to pass the torch to someone else. And even if he wanted to, he's 80 years old. So it's time to rest after this term anyway.
Between us and the Democrats is we really do have a strong bench. I don't want to use names because it's, inappropriate, but it's too early.
But people do like when you start talking about whether you like J.D. Vance or Secretary Rubio.
I do like J.D. Vance. I like Marco Rubio. I like so many people. We have an unbelievable bench.
Mr. President, can I also ask you, we're now at the end.
For me personally, I like J.D., but right now, more than anybody, I like Marco. Marco is my favorite right now. Now, before I wrap it on up, put the bow on top, let's talk about what the Democrats said in response to this. They're trying to have the FCC probe the interview. They're trying to find any kind of inconsistencies, anything that might be worthy of getting Trump on, getting him in trouble for. And you know why they're doing this? It's because of the lawsuit that Trump hit CBS with over Kamala's 60 Minutes interview. Now, the key difference between the two interviews was... And I'll give you an example. With Kamala, there was one question from the reporter put out and she gave one answer. The very next day, that same question was put out with a different answer. They just tested it like, okay, that answer didn't do really well. Put that one out. That was crazy. Nothing like this is being alleged in this interview. All that I was able to see is that in the video that came out on television, they did not include the piece about cryptocurrency because they were trying to say, well, you pardon that guy. I cannot pronounce the name. I know what I'm talking about. You pardon that guy, and maybe it's because you're trying to protect yourself and your family interests because y'all got some crypto stuff going on as well. Okay, so because that wasn't in the TV interview, but it is in the full one and the transcript, that's somehow an issue that they might want to look at. I think they're just mad because Trump was able to sue CBS for $16 million and win. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to President Trump and the CBS 60 Minutes interview. I think it was good. I think he did a very good job. He was able to answer questions pretty succinctly and honestly, and in a way that I think most Americans would agree with, regardless of what your political party is. I'll tell you what, Kamala Harris could never. If she was to become the president, God forbid, and thank God that didn't happen. If she was to become the president, that what we saw right there couldn't have happened. If it was Joe Biden, we know that he's about 1,001 years old in dog years, and he sounds every bit of it. He would not be able to do that. So I think President Trump did a great job. And I think our guys on the quote unquote bench we talked about, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, even the Vivek, they would have done just as well or better. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about President Trump's performance during the CBS 60 Minutes interview? Did he do a good job, not a good job? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think Trump did a great job. I loved it. And again, if you want to see the full interview, no cuts, no nothing, no editing, I will link to the full thing in the box. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.